Welcome to Cheap Shot News. My name is Zach, bringing you it live today on Facebook, as always. Well, not always. I do it on Tuesdays at 7:30, but you knew that because you're here with me. If you're watching on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, Zach Clark. You can follow me, watch it live, criticize me while I'm doing this, normal stuff, like Soup does. He's been waiting all day. I know he's in a hurry, so I'm going to drag this out as long as possible. Anyways, if you're not familiar, I talk about movie news primarily, throwing some TV news occasionally. Mostly stuff that I'm interested, my friends are interested in. I like to throw it out there occasionally, see what my friends want to talk about. Anyways, I wasn't on last week because of a work conflict. Anyways, it happens. Not a big deal. I try to keep it as regular as normal for you guys, though. First topic of this week, G.I. Joe. This week in stupid ideas that would never turn out well for anyone. Hasbro and Paramount have decided they will not be doing a third installment of the G.I. Joe franchise. Let's all take a second and just pause and soak that in. I mean, that's hard to hear. Not really. It's really not. Because they're going to reboot it. So, that's going to happen. I don't know why or what they're thinking. And if you're unsure, I'm being sarcastic here. They weren't good. Anyways, they're looking to do a little more millennial approach, whatever the hell that means. Because if by a millennial approach, what they're looking for is, a movie with hipsters that are gluten-free, that drink free-range coffee, and then get all together at the end and talk about how movies based on their favorite childhood cartoons trigger them. That would be very millennial, and I'd probably go see that over whatever garbage they're planning on pumping out anyways. So that is my opinion. Not a big fan of the G.I. Joe movies. I don't know why they think this is going to turn out well. I think the best that they could possibly do is maybe turn a little bit of a profit at the box office. Don't have a lot of high hopes. And I don't have a lot of trust in them because any movie series or studio or whoever that decides to put Marlon Wayans in a serious role and expects me to then take that seriously, they're dreaming. You phoned it in. You phoned it in. Now you're rebooting it to try to save yourself a little bit there and try to not make a horrible mockery of a great childhood movie. So, I mean, this is coming from a guy who watched the first, I shouldn't say, I've seen both of them. I watched the second one in the theater, and they're some of the worst movies that I ever seen. They're garbage, Kimmy. So, I don't have a lot of high expectations. Hopefully they do slightly better, but I don't think they're going to do much of anything. So, moving on to another topic that's a little bit more uplifting, but it's a kind of mixture of good and bad. So, the good news is after nearly a year and a half, almost a year and a half to the date, I believe, Adult Swim randomly released the first episode of Rick and Morty Season 3 without really anybody knowing about it. It just kind of happened a couple Saturdays ago. I was going to talk about it last week, but I wasn't able to do the show, so I'm talking about it now because I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. So, awesomeness that 18 months later we get to see what transpired with Rick and everything like that and see what happened after, like I said, 18 months of the internet chanting "Free Rick Sanchez," which I was on board for as well. So don't worry, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I just want you to know that it was awesome and you should watch it. I'm not sure where you can find it. I know Adult Swim basically aired it every night for a week, so you could probably find it somewhere out there. I don't know if it's on Hulu yet, if they're doing that again, or if it's on the Adult Swim app. Not sure. You can probably find it, though. Basically, what you need to know is that the mad alcoholic scientist has returned. Things transpire. Not going to get into details. What you need to be concerned about, though, is apparently now we need to all petition McDonald's collectively to bring back the promotional Szechuan dipping sauce for the McNuggets. That's not a word. It's McNuggets. I was doing so well into right there. Anyways, anger down. We have to get the Szechuan sauce back. So, inside joke for those who have seen the first episode. So the bad news is that comes with that. There was good and bad, if you recall from the beginning of this topic of conversation. The bad news is that although they did air the first episode, they're not going to air any of the other episodes of season 3 until sometime this summer, because apparently Adult Swim really likes to torture us slowly, which if you've ever watched Adult Swim, you'd probably actually be familiar with that. So excited, kind of frustrated though at the same time. So moving on to some other topics, I like to get involved with some things that other people have brought up to me of like, hey, what do you guys want to talk about this week? And honestly, I was kind of grasping at straws to get topics this week because I was running a little bit behind. So one that was brought up to me is Marvel is continuing to expand its seemingly ending library of content with another straight-to-series show. So this is going to be The New Warriors, will be an action comedy on FreeForm. FreeForm is formerly ABC Family. I guess Marvel really isn't interested in actually making a good show. And because, honestly, it's FreeForm, they just want something out there. So they're just throwing stuff against the wall at the moment. Which, again, if you've seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you probably understand that as well. So, if you're not familiar with the New Mutants, they're kind of a younger, more awkward version of the Avengers. They're like a little counterpart to the Avengers, which I ever doubt they're going to bring up the awkwardness aspect or just even the Avengers in general in the TV show. I don't know why. They just don't seem to like to make heavy connections amongst the Marvel products. Since Marvel seems to have a pretty good grasp on pretty much every demographic, I'm not really sure what this is aimed at. So young adult, teenage, I mean, they have pretty much full grasp of the nerdy demographic. So I don't know. I mean, are you targeting like high school popular kids that make fun of the nerdy kids for liking comics and watching the movies? Is that what you're going for? Because I don't know what you're going for here. And two things on that. Those popular kids are watching the movies. I guarantee it. You're not that cool. And secondly, you don't tell those kids what to do. They're way too independent and original and just they think of themselves as cool. So, yeah, you're not going to get them to do anything that you want. So I'm not really sure. Again, being that it's FreeForm, I don't have a lot of faith in it. That being said, I was wrong with Legion most recently, but that's on FX. So big difference there. One fun fact that I did find out about the New Warriors while researching them is that they were the characters of the New Warriors, at least a few of them were the ones that started Civil War, the actions that took place that blew up everybody and killed a bunch of innocent people that started Civil War. Comic book, not the movie. Be better nerds if you didn't know that. So let me know how you feel. I am hesitant at best, I would say. So, next topic, courtesy of David. Well, not really. I was going to talk about this anyways, but he brought it up as well. Have you guys seen the Thor Ragnarok trailer? Okay, good. Then I'm not going to feel bad about talking about it. So, in short, I'm excited. Probably the most excited I've ever been for a Thor movie, and I'm just going to throw it out there right now. I think this is going to be my favorite of all the Thor movies. That being said, that bar is fairly low. The Thor movies are probably my least favorite, or some of my least favorite in the Marvel universe. So, looking forward to this Thor. Excited. So, quick summary if you haven't watched the trailer. If you're watching on YouTube, I linked the trailer below. Villain Hela defeats Thor and banishes him from Asgard, where he is then captured and forced into gladiator fight. I don't know where my words are going there. Basically, gladiator fighting. And it just happens to be against Hulk, which is unknown to Thor at the time. And then when they see each other, Thor's like, yeah, I know him from work. Which literally no one has ever been that excited to see someone from work in any situation, even if if it is a fight to a death. I think I'd rather kill someone that I don't know. That's just me though. So End of trailer. So not end of movie. That's just kind of how the trailer wraps up. They end up fighting anyways, I should say, even though, because Hulk's not having any of that stuff. He's like, nope, we're here to battle and we're doing it. So that wraps up. So basically awesome. It seems like there's going to be a whole lot of action, which I'm all for action. Do it up. I mean, I'm not going to a Marvel movie with really in-depth character development and great acting. Give me some action. From what's interesting to me is, unlike the other Thor movies, we're really getting away from Asgard. Obviously, he's being banished. And we're getting out into the galaxy, and some people I've known have even mentioned it seems more Guardians of the Galaxy-esque. So that makes sense. It could be even on purpose to make more of a connection to their universe to then bring them in for Infinity War. So yet to be seen. There also is one concern that I've heard quite a bit is people are like, the tone with the characters and with the music and everything doesn't seem to really match up with what is going on screen. You know, these are higher stakes. Hela is bringing down the thunder, and you know, potentially people could die and different things like that, and Thor has been banished and Loki is ruling and everything like that. So, but the tone seems to be a lot more lighthearted. Well, what I've told my friends is two things. Is first of all, it's a Marvel movie. We haven't had a dark Marvel movie as of yet, even with the highest of stakes like in Age of Ultron. The movie itself has been fairly lighthearted. And two, based on everything that I've read and seen on this and the plot and synopsises and different things like that, is they're trying to make it even more lighthearted and almost like a buddy comedy with Thor and Hulk on this road trip across the galaxy. So based on that, I think that's just generally what they're trying to accomplish, is maybe be a little more lighthearted with the movie. So on to the next topic. Well, I mean, I guess I should say, what do you guys think on that? Do you think, you know, it should be darker? It shouldn't be? Do you care if it's lighthearted? I don't care as long as it's, you know, a solid movie. So, next topic. Kind of a combo here of Superman, Black Adam, and Shazam. So, mixing them all together with some rumors. So, there was internet rumors that have been floating around, courtesy of Sean George. Thank you very much for bringing this up to my attention. Just wanted to touch on very quickly. So, I've seen multiple articles in regards to basically something that just one random Redditor had to say. Reddit is, if you're not familiar with Reddit, it's basically a blog that anyone can talk about anything specifically, and yeah, a lot of people are on there. Anyways, Redditor with quote-unquote inside knowledge, there will not, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically says there not be a Shazam movie as Warner was not satisfied with the product, their original script. They're more, and then he goes on to say they're more interested in Black Adam, which again, according to the Redditor, will be the main villain in Man of Steel 2. So this really came out of, he's going to be the main villain in Man of Steel 2. There may or may not be a standalone Black Adam movie, but there's probably not going to be a Shazam movie. So, I know what you guys are thinking. You know, this guy's on the internet. We should probably trust him and what he has to say, but I'm kind of skeptical for that reason. You know, just inside knowledge, I don't even know what that means. I don't think anyone should really take this guy super seriously. I mean, the last time I got a random information from a random source, nothing really came of it. So that's one thing. And here's the big kicker, though. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, who is going to be playing Black Adam, he's basically been cast in that role for the last 10 years. They haven't done anything about it, though. Yeah, that guy, the guy starring. He has come out and said in another interview that the Black Adam movie and then a Shazam movie will develop on their own and then eventually come together, because Black Adam or Shazam are, you know, the hero and the villain, and that's the primary villain for Shazam is Black Adam. So they're eventually going to come together. And so he makes it very much seem that these movies are still highly in development, which kind of pushes aside the idea of Black Adam being a main villain in Man of Steel 2. You know, there could be some truth to this. There's always the possibility of some truth being in some of these topics. I mean, we could see Black Adam and Man of Steel 2, but I firmly believe still that they're in development of a standalone Black Adam, a standalone Shazam, and they'll eventually come together. So that is second to last topic. The final topic I'm going to touch on today is the reboot of It. You're welcome, Soup. So, they're rebooting the horror movie It from Stephen King. A trailer was recently released and it looks scary, and I'm really not interested in seeing it. And that concludes my discussion topics for the movie It. Anyways, that's going to wrap up for me today. That was kind of a quicker episode. I had a few topics that I wanted to touch on. Got through them fairly quickly. You're welcome. And that's going to be it. Again, I am Zach. This is Cheap Shot News. Feel free to follow me on YouTube. Follow and like if you're watching on YouTube. Get more of my videos. If you're on Facebook watching me, just on YouTube, search Cheap Shot Cinema. You can also follow me on Facebook. Again, Cheap Shot Cinema, and Twitter, again, Cheap Shot Cinema. I hope you guys had a good time. I had fun talking and different things like that. So you guys have a great evening, and we will see you next week. Bye.